And we're back. We got another one. But before we get going, let's take care of some housekeeping notes. Today's episode is sponsored by Epic Mortgage. Whether you're buying, investing, or refinancing, call Epic today. That's 708-905-5300. That's 708-905-5300. It's your dreams, your goals. Let's plan together. Also want to remind everybody that the book is out and available, The Ultimate Mortgage Guide. It's right over there behind my shoulder. This isn't just a book, it's a blueprint. It's a step-by-step playbook for turning your mortgage into a wealth-building machine. Definitely put a lot of time and effort and put 20 years of knowledge into that book. So it's on Amazon, so check it out. After you're done with the show today, after you're done with the Epic Lunch and Learn, definitely check out the Epic Spotlight interview, Olivia White. She's a licensed real estate agent out of Aurora, Illinois. And she really gives a master class in professionalism and client care. And her story's pretty nice. So check it out. That's Epic Spotlight right on YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel, Epic Spotlight. You can see that. And we do have some preferred listings. So today, our preferred listings for the week right now, we have 2436 Planters Mill Way, Conyers, Georgia. It's going for $399, 4-bed, 2.5-bath. Contact Angela Pinnell, 404-425-4660. We have 1100 South 3rd Avenue, Maywood, Illinois. This has got a price reduction down to $375 now. 5-bedroom, 2-bath. Contact Tamika Bishop, 630-479-6352. So that's huge. That's a big price drop, so take advantage. 8228 South LaSalle, Chicago. It's going for $250. It's a 3-bed, 1-bath. Contact Amico Pope, 808-428-3770. We also have some commercial listings as well. 1413 East End, Chicago Heights. It's a commercial storage unit. It's going for $165. Also contact Amico Pope, 808-428-3770. We have 1645 Western Avenue, Chicago Heights. It's a commercial property. Could be the next hookah lounge down in the south suburbs. Going for $339. Contact Keith Terry. I should know that. I'll go to the next one. 14327 Lincoln Avenue. It's my client's actually selling his house, going for $225. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath home. Contact Evelyn Woods, 773-718-9742. We have some condos. Can't forget about the condos. We have 548 East 50th Street, Unit 3, Chicago. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath property. That's a big condo. Contact Jessica Roberson, 708-722-5106. And we also have another condo, 6945 South Dorchester, Unit 2S. It's contact Evelyn Woods for more information on that one, 773-718-9742. And then we have a new one, 9049 South Parnell Avenue. It's going for $279,980. Contact Sebastian Kupiec at 773-430-8988. And we have the renovation property. If you're looking to do a reno or a fix and flip, 7723 South Honorary Street, Chicago, Illinois. Contact Brittany Davis, 773-971-8714. And then let me give you Keith Terry's number for that. His number is 773-655-1360, and that's for 1645 Western Avenue, Chicago Heights. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Dante. How are you?
I'm good.
Besides being a year older, how you doing? How you feeling this morning? Little aches and pains at 45 years old?
45. Unbelievable. 45. Wyatt, you're nowhere near that, I imagine.
Getting close. I'm 31, so you're getting up there.
It's I feel like after the 21, the 18-year-old, the 16, like those birthdays you're kind of looking forward to, but then now it's like every 10 years you kind of look like, okay, I'm 30 and now I'm 40. But the 45 hit me though. I'll say that the 45 hit me because I was like, OMG, I'm 15 years away from 60. That's like insanity to me. Insanity. So no, but I do want to send a shout out to everyone. Facebook showed a lot of love yesterday. Appreciate everyone on Facebook, wishing me a happy birthday. Appreciate that a lot. It was great. Had a great weekend. I was north side. I was in Rogers Park. I was on the south side. I went to the Sky game. I finished off at Fogo de Chao. So definitely
you filled up that belly for 45. That's for sure, right?
Yeah,
No doubt
belly
about it.
is full. Yeah, so it was
Hey,
good.
From all the happy birthday wishes, realize me and you have a mutual friend that we didn't know.
Brad Walburn, yes,
Brad
indeed.
Walburn, that's correct. Taught me a little bit about the mortgage business, to be honest.
Yeah, he had a net branch for Atlantic Mortgage Corp. Him and man, I know the guy. First name was Mike. I was like Mike Cash or something like that. So yeah, they had a net branch out in Glen Ellen, and I was an AE at the time. I was working with Novastar Mortgage, and
Gotcha.
yeah, that's when we met. He's a Packers fan, so I mean,
Yeah,
I can't get too close.
I worked with him back in 07 to probably 2011. We followed each other around a little bit. Good guy, good true salesperson. But yeah, he's a Packers fan.
Yeah, Packers fan. He had a little bit of looking like the Terminator at one point in time, so I always gave him grief on that.
Yeah.
But Wyatt, why don't you let the audience know who you are?
So I'm Wyatt Westhoff. I'm a Velocity account executive. So we specialize in investment properties over Velocity, and basically I work with brokers, business to business, and we fund deals, and that's really it. Residential and commercial, and yeah, so that's basically it.
Well, how did you get into it? I mean, it's not necessarily something that you look for as I want to get into commercial side. So how did you get into it?
Yeah, I didn't even know about this business 2 years ago, and I had one of my neighbors was a top account executive, or he still is at Velocity, and I was going to school for computer science. The job market for that wasn't going too well at the time, so he asked if I wanted to, come on and see how I liked it, and see if it was a good fit, and it ended up being something that I enjoy doing. So yeah, would never imagine that I'd do mortgage lending, but 2 years
here
later,
you are.
Yeah.
I mean, we've said the same thing from time to time. Never thought we'd do mortgage lending or continue doing mortgage lending, but here we are, 20-something years later.
Yeah. Hey, one thing, Wyatt, I mean, what a great decision that you made. If you think about it now with computer science and AI just kind of eating those jobs alive. I mean, to some degree, that actually saved you that pivot.
Yeah, it's still, oh yeah, it's definitely, from what I hear from my friends that are still trying to get into that, it's definitely getting more constrictive, and it's different than what it was, even 5 years ago, as far as like computer science, app development, stuff like that. A lot of it is, a lot of the legwork is being done by automation. So,
sure,
those ground level jobs that most computer scientists started out doing, they don't exist anymore. So
yeah, I remember. Yeah, and no, I just remember the concept where they were talking about the concept of coding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just learn how to code, and it's like, well, AI can let you code now.
Everybody knows how to code today. It's just an app away.
Yeah,
except me. Don't worry about it. That won't ever happen.
Yeah, there's systems where you can write down what app you want to make, and it will make it for you. Basically from nothing for a paragraph. Yeah.
All right. So then, I love having you on because you're a millennial, and so I want to get your perspective of the market, and just with just be transparent. Just so you know, I was an AE back in the day, and I never heard. Yeah, with Novastar. I never knew about being an AE at all. I had no clue. I had a broker friend that was, we're going to go out for lunch, and he was like, "Hey, I got to go to this meeting real fast. Will you come with me? And then we can go to lunch." I was like, "Oh, okay, what is it?" And, we sat down, and, this lady just kind of, did this whole spiel, and I was like, wow, okay, that was really informative. And then all of a sudden I saw all these people like lining up to give her files, and I was like, what is this? And then he explained the whole account executive. Obviously the world is a little bit different now, but just explain like your role and what do you do and what do you see out there?
So a big part of my job is outreach for new brokers. I like to at least some days are a little bit busy, but try to fit in time to reach out to brokers that I haven't spoken to yet, or look for leads on new business for more companies that we haven't Velocity hasn't worked with yet. So that's one part of it. Another part is just communicating with brokers that I do know and trying to process their files, trying to get them in the door, basically get them from the application stage into processing, which with us is pretty easy. So it's really just ironing out the stuff before the account manager sees it, and try to get everything cleaned up. So it's a smooth process in underwriting.
Sure.
And that's
yeah. I mean, why don't you explain what Velocity does?
so about 70% of our business is investment residential property. So non-owner occupied stuff, non-QM. So we're not looking at finances and stuff like that for the borrower side. It's mostly it's collateral based lending. So we're doing a pretty strict appraisal on the property, and kind of we're still looking at credit. We're still looking at payment history on the borrower, but it's more looking at the value of the property, making sure that's good, and lending off that. And then we also, so that's residential 1 to 4s, that side. And then we do a little bit of commercial. So it's about 30% of the business is retail, offices, warehouses. I think the big two are mixed use stuff and warehouses. Those two we do a lot of on the commercial side. And then multifamily as well. So 5+ units, apartment buildings, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the mixed use is really only available on FHA. Conventional doesn't even have a product for it. And at one time, and I don't know, Vince, I mean, they would have to fact check me. I thought you had to be self-employed to even have a chance on a mixed use property. You'd have to be moving your business in there. I know I've done it once, but I don't know if it's just you can do it just to do it. But so obviously Velocity being an outlet is something that's huge because, these are already from day one. Hey, they're not primary homes. This is going to be an investment property. I have an idea, or I have a business that can go in there. So take me through the challenges. What are some of the issues you see when, submissions of files, what are some of the hiccups? What are the issues?
Well, the purchase side, most commonly, when someone's going in on a purchase on an investment property, they're usually not occupied, which is okay. But I think some people expect that on the commercial side as well, which, we expect at least 70% occupied. So either tenant or owner occupied commercial. So I get a lot of that stuff. A lot of semi-complete projects. So they're looking to, long-term finance out of a fix and flip, and the fix and flip's not done yet. And they're trying to get ahead of the game. And, it's not that they're trying to be not transparent. It's just that they're in that stage and they expect to be somewhere they can't be in a time period. And so that's a challenge. And typically just value, sometimes value isn't what it is expected, and we run into that, but usually we work it out and try to get, find a way to do the deal regardless.
Sure.
But yeah, that's really it.
Are you lending all 50 states, or are you regional based, or how does that work?
We're national, except for 5, which is North Dakota, South Dakota, 4, Vermont and Minnesota. So those 4 we can't lend in. But everywhere else we're good to go.
Good to go. And then how does it work as far as a broker goes? Can I work with you in a state that I'm not licensed in? Is that a fair statement, or how does that work? Is it a referral base, or?
You don't even need a license with us. You need an entity, and that's it. Except for a few states that do require a real estate license. So mostly West Coast. It's California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, and Idaho, I think, are the 5 or 4. But all you need is an entity, and we'll take you as a broker. And you can, some states you also require foreign authority as far as your your entity goes, but
Sure.
I think maybe 2 or 3. But yeah, just an LLC or corporation is all you need.
Let's kind of touch on that for a minute. Obviously, business is tough for everybody. So if you are dabbling in the commercial and you're an actually residential loan officer and you come across a commercial deal, you do not have to run it through your brokerage firm, depending on the state. You do have to have your own type of corporation or LLC, and you could run that deal through Velocity without running it through your broker. But again, make sure you check with your employer, because your employer might not like you doing that.
Yeah,
good point. I'm curious. It's just far as like you were talking about like commercial storage. Can you kind of describe what commercial storage looks like?
as far as like the property type.
Yeah.
So we try to stay away from
with nothing in it and a roof over it.
Yeah.
And
isn't that some HGTV? I mean, they had the storage wars. I mean, am I buying the whole? Okay, I'm buying the
pretty
whole
much, yeah,
facility.
I mean, if you were to buy one, sometimes I do see they're called commercial condos, which I'm sure you're familiar with, but that would be a single unit of a store, like like a shed or like a storage facility. But we also do like actual storage facilities, like public storage. Okay. We're on the smaller end. I mean, a public storage thing would probably be, in a couple tens of millions. But we're on the lower end of that, so it would be smaller storage facilities. But we do those, yeah. So similar to a public storage, just on a smaller scale.
And let me ask you. I mean, obviously, there's like 3 things that come to mind that I've been asked over the years of like, hey, do you do lending for this? And, normally the answer is no, but I was just curious, what is the perspective? So it's laundromats, gas stations, and churches. So can you talk about how those are deemed as a high risk, things to lend on?
It's because they're special use. So we stay away from special use stuff. To like support that, we could do a church or a it's more so it's more of the property type. We could do a church if it was in an office style building, if you have like one of those modern churches where they kind of do, or a school where they run it out of like an office style building. We still can't do that. It's not really about what's going on inside, it's about what if we had to take it over or sell it, we'd have to sell it mostly as a general commercial or as the property type it is. So, restaurants, things like that, it can't be anything else really. It has to be a restaurant. It has to be a gas station. There's no other use for it. So it's too specific to kind of recover off of that. And that's the real reason why we can't, take it over or lend on it.
Let me throw one other one out there. I know we did a demo with you guys about a month ago. And I like, obviously, to me, the collateral lending is the way it goes. Put some money down. Here you go. Down payment, 20%, 30%, call it a day and get going, right? Forget about the income. If the property rent rolls, I know you had one product where the lower FICOs were doing roughly 50% of the down payment. You want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, it's definitely more popular with refinances. So mostly free and clear properties. It's called the Fast 50. And the idea behind that is we take any FICO. I mean, there's pricing brackets within that program, but we'll take any FICO as long as they're current on the primary and subject. So as long as they're, up to date on their payments on their primary home and the property we're lending on, we can do it. So they could be late, and then come current. And if they're current by the time we fund it, we can do that.
And your current DSCR, basically 20% down, single family investment?
Yeah, so on the residential side, we don't ratio. So that's another thing as well with us. We're not looking at DSCR. That's not one of the factors we do on LTV for the residential side.
Got it.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but I mean, I guess how can you do that? So what are you looking at? What are the factors or elements that you pay attention to that makes I have a strong deal?
Well, it's most of the hiccups do come after the appraisals. So it's me asking questions like, what's the status of the property? If there's any issues that I kind of see up front, is asking for maybe photos or trying to clearing the way with the credit officer and the underwriters prior to submitting is how we kind of clean up the file and make sure that any problems that could come up with the the appraisal, with the review are solved up front. And with us, I mean, almost every file has some thing going on with it. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just there's a reason they're coming to the velocity, and it's not always a bad thing, but there's usually something going on, and that's kind of what we like is odd scenarios. There's always it's always a paragraph of what's going on with the property. So
Sure.
it makes it fun.
No doubt. Are you guys portfolioing those? Or, I mean, are you servicing those loans, or are you selling them off?
I think we're mostly we do have a servicer, and I think most of them are getting handed off, bonded and stuff like that.
So I mean, keeping it within the family though, like you're.
Yeah.
Or you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe so.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. That would make sense that you guys can kind of set your own trends and your own product lines, because you're going to basically service these loans yourself. So the actuaries or the concept of what is going to stick, you guys are evaluating that, what's selling and what's not.
Yeah,
they know what their investor is going to buy.
Yeah,
correct. That's pretty neat. Yeah, I mean, I actually got introduced to you by another loan officer. He told me about you. You guys do some incredible things. I was like, oh, okay, sure. I mean, obviously it's kind of one of those scenarios where, lenders always want to get signed up with, various broker shops. And, it's almost, it's just tedious. It's almost kind of annoying to have to keep signing up. And, so I'm always looking for niches, and I'm like, all right. And that Fast 50 that you reference, that's a game changer, so that goes for any investors out there. If you're an investor and you have a property and you need to get cash out, for another deal or just, for cash flow purposes, it doesn't matter what your credit score is, as long as you have the loan to value. We're working on a deal right now where, client has a free and clear property, and they're looking to get cash out, and the credit score is low, just because they've been maxing out their credit cards or what have you, but they need access, and they have the asset. And so you guys are stepping up to the plate, and we're just waiting on the appraisal to come back, and that's a huge thing. Now let me, when those situations come up, what about delinquencies in real estate taxes? Can they pay that with the proceeds?
Yeah, so that's another, well, not technically, but that's another thing with the Fast 50. The rules are kind of relaxed a little bit on that stuff. Per guidelines, it needs to be for a business purpose, that cash out.
Sure.
So, but we will accept, a payment plan, and at the end of the day, we fund it. I mean, it's their money now, and that's really
what they do.
What they do. Yeah. So, So, we IRS. I've seen IRS tax liens, revolving credit, stuff like that, and we'll still do the Fast 50 like that. It's max LTV when stuff like that is going on is a little bit more, it's tougher, but with the Fast 50, it's kind of really easy to get that stuff done.
Yeah, folks, once again, if you're an investor out there, you have real estate that you have, or if you have friends, family, neighbors, and they've told you the struggle, because these DSCR programs are based upon cash flow of the property. And generally, just to what you said, Wyatt, they always have to have business purpose for the loan. So I've gotten caught up in a scenario where a person had delinquent real estate taxes, and the lender wouldn't let me pay them off at closing. And I was like, well, we need to pay these off or we can't close. And they said no, because everything has to be, earmarked for business purpose, where we couldn't get the funding until, basically they had to pay them off, show me proof that they paid them off, then we could close. Well, what's the point? We were trying to get the cash out to do this. So,
Yeah.
if you guys are getting stuck out there as an investor, definitely make sure you reach out to us because we are working with Velocity, and this is huge in the marketplace. These are the little things that separate us versus just your traditional lenders. Did you have something to say, Vince? I know you were going to chime
No,
in.
I was going to say let's hit on some of the questions, and then we can kind of continue on. If that's cool. I know I saw one about technology.
Yeah, let me do that. Let's start here. Got a question in, James Show. How do you see commercial lending changing in the next 5 years? I'll give that to you, Wyatt.
Are these questions? Okay, sweet. So, I mean, I see it as getting a little bit more restrictive. I mean, commercial, the rates are already a little higher just because of that risk. We have a lot of things such as, Amazon and all that stuff that makes, retail properties pretty tough to do. Offices, people are working from home a lot more nowadays. So commercial getting a little bit, it's not impossible to do. I mean, there's plenty of high volume commercial, but it's probably on a not a totally downward trend, but it's still the requirements are getting a little bit more restrictive.
I would imagine in even thinking about commercial lending. Right now, we're in our corporate office here in Brookfield, Illinois, and how just with so many people working remote from home, like you said, the valuation, the property appreciation price not there, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
think that would be the fear that valuations of commercial will kind of stand still, almost. A situation was similar to like condos back in the early 2000s. I'm dating myself here, obviously, but we just didn't see the huge appreciation in condos because it just wasn't a huge desirable choice of venue. I think condos have changed as of recent years just due to the lack of, with so much spike in pricing, we've seen, the stagnation in condo prices, which have made them desirable because now they're the affordable housing that people can find right now. But to your point, commercial lending, just getting that evaluation. So I can see trouble potentially with appraisals, moving forward, because well, I bought this 5 years ago or 10 years ago. I've had it, and it's like, what do you mean the value's still the same? And it's like, yeah, there's just not a huge desire for commercial lending. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do you there was a fear that I had, like everyone's going to move to kiosks. No one's ever going to have commercial properties anymore. I mean, that's kind of a severe thought process, but I mean, do you see, I mean, who needs a commercial space nowadays? You think of businesses, like who would need one?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely still, well, actually, medical is a great way to get into if you're doing an office and it's a group of doctors or a medical office, dental office. Those are usually just pretty firm deals. I mean, I just did a couple. I have two actually. I just funded one, and there's another one on the way for medical offices, and those are usually pretty clean. So, yeah, and the medical stuff, offices are great for retail. Like actual shops, still survive. Smaller shops, mom and pop stuff. So yeah, those are still pretty common, and we rarely struggle with those. But large offices are tough to do. Anything really over 10,000 square feet is getting rough.
Just for evaluation purposes, or
just to find people who want to be tenants.
Basically, meaning just
them.
the usage, in general, just the usage. Hey, there's too much. And that's the only thing I'd add to the commercial lending, to see how things get turned, how all this empty retail space or office space gets reconverted. That'll be what I'd like to see, how that progresses over the next 5 years. To me, that's the next interesting point of the marketplace.
Yeah.
Elaborate on that, Vince.
Well, I mean, you have big high-rise buildings, and I mean, we live outside of the city of Chicago, but let's just take downtown Chicago as an example, right? Occupancy rates are lower in commercial spaces. You have empty retail stores. You take a look like Stratford Mall, they knocked it down. They're building residential. Lombard, Yorktown, they're building residential around the mall. There's a lot of baby boomers that are moving into that. They want that centralized downtown location with amenities as well as convenience like grocery stores and things like that. So more like the conversion of how we're going to reshape office spaces, because it's not easy to convert those into residential or use because of how it's designed with the mechanicals and things like that. Kind of wanted to touch on that with Mike when we had the architect on the show last week, but that'd probably be a topic for the next episode. But I don't want to stay on the whole commercial side. To me, it's how are we going to revamp it?
Makes sense. I mean, obviously, the reason why I bring up commercial to some degree is just the concept of, what am I going to invest in? Investing, as I have this disposable income, I need to invest. Am I missing the boat on not looking at commercial lending? Should I look into, maybe getting an office space or mixed use? I mean, I've heard these things over time, and now I'm just, actually, we can help people do this. And I'm just interested on what people are thinking as far as commercial. But yes, to your point, Wyatt, we do get questions, and we do offer, Facebook. We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So, for people out there, if you want to send in your questions that you have, if you have a scenario or you have questions in general, definitely we're here for the next 28 more minutes, but we're here for you. So to answer your question. So we did get another one. I appreciate everyone chiming in. Amy says, what is the biggest mistake new brokers make when entering commercial real estate?
It's not mistakes. It's just a learning experience on every lender has a different, they're asking for different things, and it's really hard to off the bat know what everybody wants. We're looking for 70% occupied, a certain NOI that, most lenders don't. We're pretty lenient. So it's just kind of finding the right questions to ask the borrower, and they're usually asked before they chat with us. So I'll get a scenario from the broker, and they've already asked a whole list of questions from the client, and sometimes some of them are missing, and it's occupancy, property status if it's under renovation and stuff like that. So I'm just asking the right questions, and that's really it. I mean, just kind of getting the whole story up front so we can build them a good deal, and when we get them pricing, it's accurate, and they're not, it's what they expect when we finally get it into processing. That's really it.
One of the issues that most people have is how am I supposed to ask the question when I don't know what the question is, or so how. So is there any checklists? Is it, obviously most people that are going to come to you have some residential experience. And so this commercial is a different animal. Is there something nuanced? Is there a checklist or something that they should have or be mindful of? I mean, you use the term NOI, which is net operating income. That's not a norm in the residential space. So what would you say to that?
I would just really all we need kind of to see, if we could even do it, is the address. The questions the broker should be asking the client is it's actually probably easier just to ask them for documents, rent roll, stuff like that, or leases, P&L, things that really the restrictive things on the commercial side is going to be that net operating income. So if it's not making enough cash flow, and then occupancy, and those are the two big ones that I think most lenders are probably going to look for is cash flow and occupancy. So as long as those two questions are covered, and I guess the property type is very important with us, but as long as those three things are covered, I think we're good. Those are the right questions.
So we learned a couple terms here, so it's pretty good. So the other thing of that is basically know your products, know what you can do and what you can't do, right? At the end of the day, That's the same with residential or commercial. You got to know what you're doing, especially on the commercial side. I would think it's a little the client is a little more educated in the real estate transaction on that side in terms of what their intention is or how they plan on doing this to help their business. So it's a little different than like, hey, here's the purpose, buy a house, here's your mortgage payment.
Well, I think also too commercial, like the understanding it's 30% down, right, Wyatt?
Yeah, we go max 70%. So yeah, 30.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's standard. I mean, I bought the office building here, and I had to put 30% down as well. So I mean, it's making commercial lending just more accessible, and people are aware of what it is, because people say it. Oh, I want to buy mixed use. I want to buy invent space. And it sounds good, but it's like, all right, well, that's 30% down. There is no down payment assistance. Like, so some of the mindset shifts have to be like, hey, this is, let's make sure what's the cash flow? Does it make sense? What are we investing into? Because there's no chump change. You're putting a real investment into your future and making sure that it executes. Got another question here. David, how can a residential agent start building confidence in commercial deals? That's a good question. That's a good one.
I mean, I would start with us, honestly, because there's not much other than the property type and kind of just the difference between owner occupied and it's a tenant occupied commercial. Really, there's not other conditions that you need to fulfill with us. So if you find a smaller end commercial deal and you at least start the process with us, you don't just try to get the application going and trying to get the process started. You'll learn a lot in that, in the commercial space, just doing that. We'll take a look at the deal and kind of give you the rundown on what it looks like. And that's a good starting point because it's really not much different than residential as far as the process goes, different than residential with velocity. Conditions are almost exactly the same.
Nice.
Want to throw one thing back at that. Wyatt, who would you say, I mean, granted, you're on the show, we appreciate it. Don't want the audience not to know that there are other lenders out there in commercial spaces. We talk about wholesale brokering loans all day long with different lenders. We all know that. Who would you say is another commercial lender that you would call your competition? You don't need to go into details, just for the audience wanting to compare product lines on their own.
On the commercial side, really, if we reject it, it's usually going to local stuff. So I don't really actually know of any, commercial, like large commercial lenders that, deals that we price out go to there. It's usually like private stuff.
Okay.
It's very, it's a small community as far as.
Correct. It is. I mean, like I done like maybe 2 or 3 commercial deals. I did one long time ago with a company called Silver Hill. Long story short, I know they're still in the marketplace, but it's a long time ago. But just to put another commercial lender out there, just as someone wanted to compare afterwards, just to kind of look. I mean, I'm not promoting either one. I'm just kind of giving out information. That's all.
I definitely have to think about that. Yeah.
I know Silver Hill. Haven't heard that in a while. It's true though. I mean, to build confidence, you want to, the thing is when you're a residential, loan officer, residential real estate agent, what have you, we know the guidelines back and forth. Like we know the 3.5% down, FHA conventional. It's so just there, right in front of our face every day. But this commercial lending side, this 30% of your business side, it's just something it's not commonly out there. We don't see it. And so, I've had experiences with commercial lenders and they're kind of fly by nights. And it's like, you feel like you're brokering to a broker who's brokering to another broker. I mean, there's so many hands. So to actually work with a direct lender, of this is kind of refreshing, and it gives, I think building confidence is working with someone that you do the research, the homework and says, hey, they can actually get it done. Because I've been there before and, no soup for you type stuff.
Yeah. One last thing on that. Just remember, if you are talking to someone about a commercial, it's not $500 for an appraisal. It's more like $2,000-$3,000 for an appraisal.
Yes. Yeah, everything goes up. Everything goes up. I wanted to take a brief moment, Wyatt. Just obviously respect your background. As far as your military background, wanted to talk about that just briefly
Thank
because
you.
I think, oh, not a problem. I appreciate your service.
Thank you.
Can can we just briefly, why did you go in? You were a Marine, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Marine Corps,
So
5 years.
that's awesome. So, I mean, just what was the mindset of like entering? What has it done for you, and how has that kind of shaped you on your day in, day out basis?
Initially, I joined at 18. I graduated high school, and I really didn't feel going to school was probably the best option for me. I ended up going to go to community college, and I thought that maybe taking a break or doing something before that might be a better option. So me and my friend did the buddy program for the Marine Corps and signed up together and went into boot camp in 2012. And you do learn a lot. And I think one of the most important things is, somebody call it work ethic, but it's just dealing with, situations that no one, you don't want to deal with, and kind of getting over that, and managing the stress of, it's not that stressful, but some days can get, pretty tough. Just a lot to do. And I think that one thing the military teaches you in general is just dealing with that and kind of managing that part of the job. Well, pretty much any job can be stressful. So it's a good benefit for that.
Sure, no doubt. I imagine that you were surrounded by alphas all over the place. Just
Yeah, I
alpha.
mean, yeah. You think, Marine Corps, the Marines have like a kind of a stereotype of being jacked, and you really do get a lot of personalities from all over the country, and you get surfer guys and country guys. Pretty much, it's just, and the most like hardcore guys are usually the scrawny dudes, and they don't look like they belong in the Marine Corps, or they don't look like they're very tough, but it's usually those dudes that are you know really tough. Yeah, it's funny to see.
No, I appreciate that. And then, how is it dealing with civilians? Because we have no idea just what you had to endure, in just those days. I mean, is it a tough change, going into this life?
I think initially it's not like, not usually the people, it's just conforming to that new routine. You're not kind of feel like a lost because you're not required to do anything anymore. You kind of just, you're in the military, you have to, or else you get in trouble. You have to do things, and once you're out, it's kind of on you to you know get a job and stuff like that, and no one's really pushing you like they are. You don't have a chain of command anymore, and I think that's one of the things that. But you do have it in your, set in your bones to want to do that stuff because you've been doing it for so long. So I think it's definitely a trade-off.
Yeah, I came from a sports background, and went pretty far, and just having that regiment every day of
Mhm.
what you were supposed to do and where you were supposed to be, when you're supposed to eat the meal, pregame meals, and all those things, and so it was kind of a culture shock to be back, like, oh, you know,
Yeah,
I can kind of just, free, I'm free to do whenever and whatever. But, I was used to the regiment. Like, well, where's my schedule? What am I supposed to do today? So
exactly. Yeah.
it definitely changes.
Yeah,
And go
you
ahead,
but
Vince.
you brought that discipline to your business personally, to your work ethic, to what you do every day, your regiment as it is. That's from your sport, and I'm sure Wyatt can relate to that too. Like that, hey, I got to do this between 10 and 11, 11 and 12, and what I'm doing now, and you're charting or comparing what you guys are doing. I mean, your numbers show that, and that hustle is different, but it's still the same.
No, I
And
appreciate that.
just kind of relating it to work, I mean, this is a consistent business. You have to do what you're doing every day in order to get the results. It's not a one day you get a loan. You might not get the next one, the other one, but you have to continue to prospect every day. You have to organize what you have. You have to educate yourself on products and knowledge and so forth and so on. And you stayed on top of that.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. It's one of those things where, yeah, it's built in you, and I don't think it'll ever. I can't let it go. I don't like surprises. I don't want the surprise birthday. I don't want the surprise. Someone's knocking at my door, like, who is it? They're not on the schedule. I mean, but it happens, but it's hard because like part of me doesn't like to adjust to that because like you're not on the schedule. I wasn't planning for this, but it is what it is. So you adjust. We do have a question about that though. What leadership lesson from the Marines has helped you most in business?
It's a good question. I think it's kind of like I guess drawing good boundaries and kind of the relationships between and building those relationships between brokers and your clients is probably you have subordinates in the Marine Corps, and kind of starting out the relationship by kind of building like an expectation on what you need. And I think that happens naturally when we start doing deals and going through pricing and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know if it's a leadership lesson, but I guess in general life is just I don't know. It's a tough question. Really,
Yeah,
learned
people
a
are
lot from
listening.
yeah. That's a good one.
Well, hey, no, that's good. And I appreciate the Epic community supporting us. They're listening to us. There's over 200 people listening right now. So, I mean, they're hearing your story and they have questions. And, we're trying to help them as best we can. Let's take the next one. We have, do you think resilience or strategy matters more in lending today?
I think it's a mixture of both. I mean, there's things come up in underwriting, and it takes resilience and takes strategy to get around those things. It's not, I mean, I'd say 9 out of 10 deals need not, well, it's not an issue, but it's restructuring it to make sure that it's the best situation for the borrower. It's not always that the value comes back low. It's not always that there's a problem with what's going on, but changing things and finding a way around problems is very important. And it's and instead of kind of like getting frustrated and getting angry at the situation, I think it's a lot better to trying to get with the lender, the AE, and trying to figure out how can we make this still work.
So,
and that's
commercial lending is a make sense lending decision at certain times. Would we say that would be kind of something that would work? It's not just this is the rule, like, hey, we have some flexibilities. There are scenarios that are necessarily outside the box that work.
Oh yeah, definitely with us. I mean, we're very, we like to work off exceptions when we can. So if it's a situation that comes up and guidelines say that we have to do this and the borrower needs something else, then I love to ask the credit officer if we can can we get this for the borrower? Can we do this to make the deal work? And that's something we do a lot of.
Yeah, I remember, like I said, a couple commercial deals. They run the business out of the building, then it adds a layer of protection and everything else in terms of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. We got another question here. What's your best advice for building strong client relationships?
Answering the phone. I mean, if you prefer to answer or talk via email, that's another thing. But just I try to get back to brokers within 10 minutes, or try to at least call them back within 20. So I think that's responding and just being upfront and transparent. If you're waiting on something, if the lender's being slow, let them know. And if get an email from the account executive on what's going on and forward that to them and let them know, like, this is what's happening. Just being upfront and not trying to avoid things when they go wrong. Sometimes timelines get messed up and things take longer than they should. And it's just, I think that helps a lot. So I try to do it the best I can with my brokers is letting them know, what's going on and trying to get respond to them as fast as I can.
I'll let you throw something in there, Dante, or I'll add something, then we go on to the next one.
Know me, like me, trust me to build a client. I mean, they got to feel it. It's a feel more than anything. They got to feel that you're looking out for them and you're doing the best you can. To Wyatt's point, picking up the phone, responding. It doesn't always have to be straight business. You can show a little bit of your own personality, your own, ask them how their day was, and those things go a long way. I like to say for clients that I've worked with, we have a relationship and they know I'm here for them. And then they call and ask questions. And, that's how it kind of develops. We're making friends. I mean, that's
Yep.
what, at the end of the day, we're friends.
True. I'd add more for the loan officers out there. You get solicited by a bunch of different brokers, whichever. Stay consistent. Work with 1 or 2, 3 lenders the most within your portfolio of products and make your relationships work with the AEs at those institutions.
Or have a bunch of files that you can split and go as many places as you possibly can.
I knew you were going to go there.
I was like, what is he saying? No, that's funny. Here, another one. Mac, what role does mindset play in commercial real estate success?
It's the mindset of looking for the right things, I guess. Kind of just finding a program that you think would fit what you want to do. So going out and searching for, the small. If you have a rate sheet from us, and you know our products, and you kind of know how we work, is kind of just searching for that stuff out in the market and searching for borrowers who would fit that Velocity's niche. And it's kind of that works with pretty much any other lender is picking the right things for what you have in your pocket. And that's really it.
Yeah, I think mindset in general, you have to be, um, willing to take the risk, but it's got to be calculated. I was curious. I was curious. Just, do you have like some success stories? Like, have you followed up with like a broker? You guys did a deal, and you're like, hey, that medical office was really great. Like, what would be posed as a good deal on a commercial side of lending? Is there something in particular?
Yeah, I think it was 2 months ago. We had a group of doctors from Puerto Rico who wanted to open up a practice in Florida, and it was a pretty big building, and it was a group of about 5 or 6 doctors, but they wanted to open up their practice, and we got it done for them, and they got it, they got in there, and they opened up their business there, and so far so good. Yeah, and my very first loan was a commercial building, I think, in Chicago. It was a watch business, and he still exists. I still have his, because I Googled him when I first started, and I still have it's in my search bar still, and he still has the business, so he's doing good. Yeah.
So, and in that situation, that was a business owner buying property so he could put his business in there.
Yeah, he was moving a watch business from one smaller area retail sector to a larger one because he was expanding, and he just wanted to, occupy new space. So yeah, retail purchase, pretty clean.
Awesome. Oh, that's super cool. You're the back office for most brokers, right? You know what I mean? So when a broker chooses to work with Velocity, you're the back office. You're the consumer doesn't get to see you, and most times or not will never speak to you, but you get to kind of see everything, all the ins and outs of these deals kind of come into life and getting the job done. So I just imagine you see a lot more than people know. Just working the back offices and stuff like that. But Yeah. Anything else you wanted to bring up today? I just want to make sure we take time and make sure we covered everything for you.
I mean, not really. I mean, just I'd be happy to hear from anybody. I would always say like call me anytime, and if you have any further questions, I'm pretty much available. I might be on the phone when you call, but like I said, I'll try to call you back within 10 minutes. So yeah, that's about it.
You want to give your contact info?
Yeah, sure. Just
Yeah, go ahead.
818. All right, 818-230-6540. That's my office number. If you do go to the Velocity website, you can find the team queue number, which would give you pretty much any Velocity AE out there, and they'd all be happy to help you as well.
Do they? Are you considered an AE, or are you a supervisor of AEs at this point, or?
Yeah, so I manage a team which Paula is on.
Mm-hmm.
It's a team of junior account executives, so they're working their way to be regular account executives, and so I manage them. I learn through them. We go through their loans together, so I get about double the volume, and I kind of I see a lot of different scenarios.
Sure, no doubt. Yeah, and obviously our account executive is the lovely Paula Rivera, so shout out to her. But yeah, no, I really appreciate you coming on the show today. Love to have you back, on a different day so we can continue. We got some audience participation, so that's always a plus. So I really appreciate that. And Vince, what are we doing this week?
Well, I don't know. I'm with you all week. We'll see how that all turns out, and we'll go from that. I don't need to give my contact. Appreciate everyone participating. We'll be back tomorrow. Why don't you throw your contact information out there one more time?
Yeah, so you can give me a call or email me. My phone number is 818-230-6540. And then my email is Westhoff, WESTHOFF @velocitymortgage.com.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, tomorrow we have Shantae Williams and Brandon Harrington should be on with us. I know we have insurance agent Laura Prey on Thursday. I think it's you and me, buddy, on Wednesday. So we can get into some.
So no outline on Wednesday. We just free flow it out, right?
I had no outline today. I wrote it down and then I was like, where did it go? Can't find it. So no, looking forward to this week. Thank you everybody for listening in. Obviously, the office number is 708-905-5300, 708-905-5300. It's your dreams, your goals, so let's plan together. Remember, all those preferred listings are available on www.dante, D-A-N-T-E, Royster, ROYSTER.com. So if you go to DanteRoyster.com, you'll be able to take a look at all of our preferred listings, as well as our podcast. The Epic Spotlight podcast is right there. You can look at previous episodes that we have, so make sure you check them out there. So we definitely look forward. We have Olivia White, and we'll have a new one to come out on Thursday. And I think we did our thing today, Vince. I'm good.
I'm good too. Thanks everybody. Wyatt, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Dante. Thank you, Vince. Talk to you guys later.
All right, take care.
Keep working on 46, Mr. 45. We'll see where you're at.
All right. Yeah, we're going to talk about that on Wednesday. That is some stuff I thought about with the birthday and stuff like that.
I'm a couple years older, so I don't know if we need to do that. But I'll see you tomorrow.
That'll be good. I'll see you tomorrow. Everybody, take care.
Everyone. Thanks.
See you guys.